Today's topic is Navy SEALs killed Bigfoot family in North Carolina.
Whoa. What now? Run that by me again?
Navy SEALs killed Bigfoot family in North Carolina.
Okay. So that's what we're going to talk about, right?
You heard about it?
A little bit about it, but look, cuz I tell you what, we grew up in that area, right? So we know those mountains are treacherous and all that other stuff. I'm not going in my civilian clothes, dressing nice. I don't know about you. So you ready to get into this?
Yeah, let's do it.
Well, let's do it.
Maintain a heading of 093 at 15 knots.
All right, now we're back, and this is more like it. I feel like we're ready to get back to our roots in the Appalachians. Cuz, are you ready?
Absolutely.
All right, so I did some digging when you first threw this topic at me. Go ahead.
I know there's going to be a lot of questions about why you're dressed the way you are and I am the way I am, because he lives on the East Coast, I live in the desert, so he's going to chase them my way, so we're going to handle it on both ends.
Exactly. Squeeze them in together, right?
That's right. Okay. That's right.
All right, so when you first threw this topic at me, I was like, whoa, this is some next level crazy, right? Right up our alley, especially since all of our comments that we got some heat about that, some flat earth stuff too, by the way. We got some heat on that. So I told you, man, me and this guy, we're not debunkers. Like I said, man, we're right into this type of stuff. So right up our alley. So we're going to get into this. Supposedly, right? I made some phone calls, called up some of my military buddies, some of my contacts back in the Navy, and asked them, what do you guys know about 1990s, a SEAL team going up into the mountains in western North Carolina and killing a family of Bigfoots? And cuz, you know what they told me? Nothing.
What's that?
You're crazy. So we got nothing for you there. So we had to do this the old-fashioned way. So some Reddit articles, some digging, some YouTube videos, and this is what we got. The story goes as follows. Supposedly, in 1990, sometime in that area, the 1990.
Where I got.
That's where you got too? You got that as well?
Early 90s.
Early 90s, there was a family of Bigfoots, about 7 in total, that were just misbehaving and had to be put in their place, right?
Right.
And started out with a couple campsites we're getting. Well, let's back it up. For those of you guys don't know, Tennessee and North Carolina, they butt up to each other like this, at that angle. There's about 9 state parks that run along that border, and at the southwestern corner at the bottom, there's the Nahatala Federal Park. That's supposedly, from what I was able to find, that's where this took place. And for you guys who have watching this who've never been to that area, you don't know mountains until you've been in that stretch. And I know people say, oh, Virginia, I'm telling you, you do not know unless you've seen the North Carolina-Tennessee border. You do not know mountain ranges. You do not know cave systems like you would not believe. Tell them, cuz.
Absolutely, 100%, yeah.
So
I clean nothing like these Rocky Mountains that we got up here.
Right. And so I don't want to say spoiler alert, but look, anybody that watches this video and you go up into those mountains looking for some smoke, here's what you're going to find. All right. So there's a lot of caves up there. I've always thought the most dangerous thing in those places are the people. There are people that live in, yeah, right, cuz there's people that live in, and look, we can, and if you're those people and we're talking about you, don't get your feelings hurt because we grew up around you. We know what you are, right?
Absolutely.
There's people up there that come down off those mountains twice a year, usually around July and usually around December, and they load up at Walmart and they don't come back. They grow their own food, they kill their own meat, they come down for their supplies, and they leave. There is a lot of moonshining going on up in those areas still. There's those counties up there are still dry counties to this day. And it's not like what you see on the Discovery Channel where you walk in, it's a couple of friendly moonshiners there, saying, hey, you get off my property. There's booby traps up there. They'll throw your bodies down in the caves up there that You'll never be found. So don't go up there looking for Bigfoot and just walk onto somebody's property. That's number one.
Yeah, don't look for a Bigfoot or a free drink.
Exactly, right. Number two, fog banks roll in to those mountains like you have no idea. I think that's why that's where they got their name, the Smoky Mountains, right, cuz?
Yep.
I've been driving over those mountains for a 45-minute drive from East Tennessee into North Carolina, and I've had a fog bank roll up on me so hard that I could not see more than 3 feet in front of the car. And there's a lot of cutbacks like this that go around. And people all the time are just driving off the edges of those things, never to be found again, right?
Absolutely.
And you don't know this, cuz, but I'll tell you off air, we actually know somebody. I don't want to put his name on here. It just dawned on me. We actually know somebody who was coming back across from North Carolina into Tennessee and saw a UFO hovering in one of those hollers up there around a cutback corner. And it freaked him out so bad. Yeah, you know this person. It freaked him out so bad. He described it as seeing a metallic object that looked like a top that you would spin. And he said it was surrounded by red smoke. But it wasn't red smoke. What it was is it was in a cloud bank, but it had red lights or something. It was glowing red, and it was looking like it was coming out of like red smoke.
Well, I'll tell you what. Now, if we both know this person, and if it happens to be a member of our family, there's no telling what they could have been intoxicated on.
Right.
I'm alive, but I'm interested to find out who it is.
We need to question where exactly they were coming from, right? First of all, why were you there? You know what I'm saying, right? Like, what? Right? Yeah. So we'll have to dig into that and look at that. But also too, up there's a place on the other side of Tennessee that's referred to called the Noachucky River. That's referred to as the Devil's Eye. And on the other side of the border in the North Carolina side, I think there's something they refer to as the Devil's Dance Floor, where nothing will grow. And like it's pretty popular. I don't know why they would go there and look at it. It's pretty popular. So those areas are steeped in all kinds of, I don't want to say cryptoid behavior, but the Yeti sightings up and down there are not uncommon. And there's no brown bears in that area. So when people say, "Oh, you just saw a brown bear," there's no brown bears. They're all black bears up there. I've never seen a grizzly up there. There's mountain lions, coyotes, and black bears on the border between North Carolina and Tennessee. There's no grizzly bears there, so there's no brown bears to be spotted or whatever. So
yeah.
So you've been warned. If you see this podcast and you go up into those mountains, dress like this and take some heat with you, and so we're not responsible. Anyways, so.
And you don't have it, don't go. Do not go.
Don't go up there. Don't go up there in khakis and hiking boots, all right? Don't do it.
Right.
Stay on the path. Don't leave the trail. All right, cuz, so I did some research, and here's what I got. Are you ready to get into this?
Yes, sir.
All right, and I got a couple more questions, too, on this. So, early 90s, that's what you heard, right?
Yep.
A family of Bigfoots was acting naughty, flipping over campers, ripping up campsites down there in one of those places. The research I saw on it was saying that at first the park rangers got involved, and for some reason, state troopers were involved, right? Supposedly, right? That goes into it. They put out a call to the National Guard, or one of the state troopers was in the National Guard, something like that. Doesn't matter. National Guard was contacted. And somehow a SEAL team out of Norfolk, Virginia, which is right up to just north of North Carolina, was sent down there to track down and kill these Bigfoots and try to bring one alive. That was the mission, was to try to bring one back, right? So,
yeah.
Right them on.
And you know let's see here. command asked for one Bigfoot to be brought back alive, and they're saying the point man said, "Go screw yourself."
Hey, fellas, while you're out there hunting Bigfoots, man, do me a favor. Try to bring one back by himself. Just bring one back alive. Right? Yeah, no, go help yourself, man. You come and get it. So, yeah. All right.
And there's word pulled out dead.
What's that?
They said 7 Bigfoot were pulled out dead.
Right. So none came out alive. Okay. So they went looking for 7, asked one to come back alive. They were said, nah. Went in there and they smoked them all. So here's what else I got. I was able to do some digging on it, right? Supposedly they shut the park down, whatever park it was. These guys did a 3-day pack out. They took gear in there for 3 days, went in there. So I got some detail. I think it was from, I forget where it was at, man, probably in Reddit or whatever. Some guy was saying that the story that he was told is that they were close to the 3rd day, almost over. They had found a trail. They had found these guys that where they found like they slept, some bend overs or whatever, a bunch of trees bent over or something like that. So they had found signs of them. But you know what, man? Before we get into that, man, don't you think it's weird that they were like, yeah, sure, go kill those Bigfoot? Like kind of they knew they were already there?
Yeah, right.
If this story's true, right?
Well, one story I saw where I guess these they kept getting reports from campers that these things were coming and like destroying camps and hurting people and stuff like that.
Right.
And then that's when the SEALs got called in.
Be like, yeah, man, yeah. So.
The fight was so intense that one SEAL died.
Yeah, that's what I heard too, man. I heard that it was like, so they found them like on the 3rd day or whatever. They were there. They found them. They were in a straight line and they were hiking or whatever. The guy in the front said, hey, I see him. And when they told him to shoot or whatever and to take the shot or whatever, and they were getting ready to go into their formation. This is from what we read. Supposedly one of them was in the trees above them. And when they started shooting, he dropped down into the middle of them. Depending on what you read, I saw one story where he reached down, grabbed one of the SEALs, pulled him up and killed him. The thing was supposed to be about 8 feet tall with 6 foot wide shoulders is how they were describing it. Man, I can't even imagine that, right? Like an animal with 6 foot wide shoulders. But anyways.
There's 2 things I would say is that kind of makes it very hard to believe.
Right.
Group of Navy SEALs, baddest men on the planet.
Right.
They go to Afghanistan, like you saw the movie Lone Survivor.
Correct.
True story. All those guys they fought. I know only one man came out, but he came out.
Mm-hmm.
You telling me 7 big hairy apes? Surely they were yards away.
Right.
Weren't taken down.
Yeah.
Before. I mean, I find it hard to believe a SEAL didn't scope the trees before they went and stood under one. You know what I mean? So
those are great points. Another thing too that made me even though I'm not, I want this story to be true so bad. You have no idea how bad I want this story to be true, right? But there's another thing too, man, that makes me be like, I don't know about this. If it all is true, right, and everything's true, and they had to send some special operators up there to kill these Bigfoots, right, these Sasquatch. Man, just down the road from there, a couple hours, is Fayetteville. Isn't that Fort Bragg down there? That's where the Delta Force. That's where Delta Force is out of, and they do like special forces training down there. Why do they call in the SEALs from Norfolk? You know what I mean? Like if a military team needed to go up there and do it, unless there's like SEAL Team 12s, like the Bigfoot Sasquatch hunting team or something like that, right? Specialize in it. I don't know, man. So maybe it's like something.
They made probably finally made a SEAL Team 9 for it.
SEAL Team 9, right? Bigfoot, the Yeti squad went in. I don't know, man, but there's other military bases, man, that are closer to this area, and the army could have handled it. I don't know, but anyway, so we'll stay with what we read, right? Because either way, This is a fascinating story, right? And don't tell me this wouldn't make a great movie, right? This would make an awesome movie, right?
Now that all these stories are coming out, like since 2017, they've gotten heavier and heavier. I feel like somebody's going to pick up and run with this as far as
man,
the movie goes.
let's make something, out there a little bit. So went in there, engaged them, took them all down, killed all 7 of them. 7 bodies came out, minus 1 seal, according to the story that it went on to do it. So that right there in a nutshell is the story. So what we can unpack is what we know is true. So let's go over the facts, all right? You're talking to 2 guys who grew up in an area where we've seen, would you not agree, some unexplainable, like hard to wrap your mind around things. And we've heard stuff too, right? So you're asking us, Sasquatches are real, 100%, right? Of course.
Mm-hmm.
The cave systems in that area, you have no idea. You have no idea how vast they are. No idea. I'm talking hundreds of miles. You have no idea how vast they are, right? So say these things could live there and not be... We're also talking about how remote it is. You say these things could live there and not be noticed? Yeah, 100%. 100% they could live there and not be noticed. There's also people that live up there and know that they're there, but they don't ever go out and talk to anybody. They would never, they're prepping, they're stocking ammo and antibiotics. They're not ever leaving their homestead, right? So
yeah,
we believe that's real. SEAL teams, we all know that real. We all know that's real, right? Now, this is the first time I've ever heard a story of Sasquatches attacking and killing or hurting anybody. But the Native American stories, especially out there in Mount Shasta in your area, there are stories where Native Americans have told stories where they went to war with these hairy men. Because these hairy things were stealing children. They went to war with them and fought them. So it's rare that you hear a story that or maybe the people that get attacked by these things there's nobody to tell. That's another way to think about it, right?
Yeah, you know what? It could be a simple case of campers getting too close and being on the moonshiner's property, and they dress up in their gear, start going off.
Yeah, for sure, right? Like that could be totally it, right? Like what I've noticed too is you get a lot of people that are coming out of the areas, Maine, up in that area, the Northeast, Boston, north of those areas that they want to go down, and they're going to camp on their way, right? And they wander off the path where they shouldn't be. That happens, and those people aren't that friendly. Some of them are, right? Like some of them are, right? But like we've seen shotguns pulled for people riding 4-wheelers on people that have 100 acres, and on the last acre of like 99, dudes will pull shotguns off. Get off my property. Like, dude, what the hell, man? It's 100 acres. You know what I mean? And so, yeah, I totally could see that walking in or whatever, doing that. So anyways, so that led me to some thinking. So that's the Navy SEAL story in a nutshell. I want to believe it. What about you?
I do too. Mm-hmm. I do too. Absolutely. And it would be cool. You also hear all this stuff about, why is in a history of our life, why does nobody have real proof? Because every picture you see of a Bigfoot, it's always blurry.
Right. Nobody's got no iPhone 15 or nothing like that, right?
Well, they'll have a clear pic somebody, but then not Bigfoot. It's always fuzzy. I've wanted to believe this since I was a kid, man. I mean, and people say UFOs are dropping them off, but I don't know.
Well, it's funny you brought that because this led me into do some research, right? There's a strong theory, and I actually have people love facts. I got facts for you on this. There's a very strong theory that these Bigfoot creatures are actually aliens, UFOs. And in fact, people are saying BS, if you want the facts, here's the best place to look for it. The Royal Canadian Mounted Police, especially in Western Canada, they have files where they refer to the cigar-shaped UFOs as Bigfoot UFOs, right? And they and their reports, those Bigfoots are getting dropped on and off out of those cylinder-shaped cigar UFOs. And so You know, you have the round type, you have the triangle types, you have the type that spin sideways or whatever, and you have the cigar-shaped ones, right? So there's a good series. There's a great series that I enjoy watching that you guys should go check out. It's called The Missing 411, right? Have you ever heard about that, Cuz?
No.
No, it's a great story. I'll turn that on to you after the podcast or whatever. And in his story, they've talked about some of the missing disappearances that go on around up in those areas as well. And so, yes, saying that Bigfoot could be possibly aliens, I mean, Chewy could be real, dog.
Don't ever see them.
Yeah, right. That's probably why you don't see. You ever thought about? Yep. So this is crazy, right? So we're big Star Wars buffs, right? Chewbacca was like 130 years old, right? Smarter than everybody, doing all kinds of like engineering stuff. What if these things, bro, are like 5 or 6 times smarter than us, right? And they're
I mean, if they exist, then they got to be, because nobody's ever gotten any real proof on these things.
Right? Yeah, exactly. And then if anybody was if anybody was ever collected, you know that they would come in and take it away. We would never see it or anything like that, right? So, but I had a theory after watching that Missing 411 is that what if there was an alien species that couldn't take our atmosphere, couldn't take our, Earth's atmosphere, and they genetically created these things to be able to survive on Earth, right? And for whatever reason, they would come down here to, do whatever they're doing. I don't know, collect herbs. Who knows? I don't even know, right? Who knows what they're doing, right?
Go buck hunting.
Right? Yeah, exactly right. Who knows? They're running their own shine, right? Picking up on the way by or whatever. Who knows why? But maybe that could be it. And if you think about it, right, there's also a historical reference to Bigfoot. It's called the Epic of Gilgamesh. I think there was the guy in there, Nimrod. It was King Nimrod. I think he had a best friend who was called like a hairy wild man. Basically looked like a Yeti or whatever. We'll do a podcast on that as well. That thing's pretty awesome right there. But yeah, man. So that just made me think that these things could be. They could have been here before us, hundreds of thousand years before us, living in those caves. I've heard stories of the skunk apes that smell like sulfur, right, down in Florida. Have you ever heard about those?
Those, huh?
So supposedly the Sasquatch in Florida look more like orangutans, right? But they stink. Oh. So they say they smell like skunk apes, right? But what it is they smell like sulfur, right? Like rotten eggs, right? That's how they describe them, right? And this is what sulfur smells like. And if you've been around any cave systems that have sulfur in it, that's the stink that comes out of it, right? So I don't know if there's some kind of cave system down there in the Everglades underneath it. I don't have any experience with that. But.
And it's kind of like the fuzzy pictures. If you've been close enough to one to actually smell it and know that's where the smell's coming from.
Yeah.
Like pictures of this thing.
Yeah.
And don't have pictures. How do you know that smell is actually coming from what you're calling a?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
No, yeah.
There's plenty not to believe it, but I just want to believe it.
Yeah, I'm the same way, right? So what we have is we have word of mouth stories that are passed down from culture and culture, from region. Like, so supposedly the on the West Coast up in Seattle, northern USA, where it butts up against Western Canada, their Bigfoots are not the same as described as the same as the ones that we get in the Appalachian Mountains up through Tennessee as well. Those out in the West Coast are supposedly bigger, 10 to 12 feet, and I think the ones in Alaska are about 10 to 12 feet as well. But I think those are black ones, like they have the black fur, and also too. Okay. And so ours are always told that they were brown. They had the brown fur, right? But then I saw this one thing that was telling me that you can tell if a Bigfoot is mean or not. The 4- and 5-toed Bigfoots are supposed to be friendly, but the 3-toed Bigfoots are supposed to be very, very aggressive. I heard that.
See, I didn't even know such a thing as a different toed Bigfoot.
Yeah, no, I heard this from a cat out of Louisiana, actually. And then I did some looking on the internet as well, and some people will talk about it. And they're saying that the Louisiana Bigfoots have 3 feet, and they're saying it could be to like some type of like inbreeding or whatever, right? So you know the little footprints that you see all the time?
Yeah.
So supposedly the 3-footed Bigfoot are supposed to be the more aggressive. Three toes. I'm sorry, three-toed. Yeah, three-toed Bigfoots. Sorry about that. Are supposed to be the more aggressive, with the four toes, and the regular-looking ones or whatever are supposed to be the more, won't come. They'll throw rocks at you, they say, but they won't ever try to rush you or whatever. And I've heard stories of guys. I knew a guy from Louisiana, Shreveport actually, but he didn't have any Bigfoot experience. But he had told me stories that some of the boys he went to high school with, they used to go hunt hogs, right? And he had told stories that they had got chased out of the swamp by these mean ass Bigfoots down there as well. And that's
possibly could have happened in North Carolina is a three-toed Bigfoot family from Louisiana probably came to North Carolina to visit some relatives, and they partied a little too hard.
Too much that cherry bounce. They didn't want to leave, right? It's probably a cave system too, man. There's probably some kind of cave system too. Who knows? But
it's either going to be aliens or huge cave systems like you're talking about that keeps them out of our sight. Because we got hunters in the woods everywhere. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That would be the only reason you wouldn't see them.
Yeah, no, for sure. This time last year, I went on a hike. And I was on the Tennessee-North Carolina border, and I can't remember the trail I was on, but I got to the top, and if you stood in one place, you could see 3 states if you're at the very top, right? And I took a picture of it. I'll send it to you. Right. Tennessee this way, North Carolina this way, Georgia that way, right? And I'm talking about, man, it was trees. That's all you can see, man, was just trees. Yeah. Huh?
I said the prettiest view. If people haven't seen,
it was amazing, man. Right? But I thought to myself, and I was like, man, there's just no way, right? Like, there's just no way. Like, there's got to be something out there, right? Other than like mountain lions and coyotes. I mean, there's plenty of stuff to kill you in those woods, right? There's plenty of stuff, right? But like, if you could survive off the grid, and you did not want to be found, right? It's not that hard to do, right? If you know how to fish and you know how to hunt or whatever, and you just didn't want to be found, those would be the places to do it. So if these animals or these beings are, if they're adapted for that, I don't see it's beyond the realm of possibility that they would be able to go and do that. That's just my opinion on that, man.
Right. No, I'm with you on that.
So, but check it out, man. I got something else for you too, man. On my studies, man, that I was reading on here. I was reading about the missing 411, and it rolled me into something that I had a little bit of experience with, man. Where I find Bigfoots to be a curiosity, right? This stuff over here, I'm about to tell you, is downright terrifying, right? And let me know. What are you familiar with? Just 2 things. Are you familiar with these Dogmen?
No.
So.
Are you serious?
Yeah, no, I'm serious, man. So look, for your homework for the rest of the week, man, and like, you might want to stay kitted up when you read this, right? So these Dogmen, right? They are, man, basically 8 foot, 10 foot tall. Imagine a Yeti, but a dog. And they call them the Dogmen, and they I guess they must be werewolves or something, and they are.
Where are they supposed to be?
So supposedly these things are starting to be just as many Dogmen sightings as Bigfoot sightings. In fact, probably over the last 5 years, you probably heard more about these sightings. First time I heard about one was actually, this guy was telling a story, and it was in like Winter Harbor, Maine, I think he was talking about. He was driving, and he was driving down the road. All of a sudden, this thing came bounding out of the woods, right? Where they talk about like Bigfoot's run, right? Like these things bound, right? And he said it came out, and what it looked like to him was that it looked like a teenage boy was transforming into this kid was probably like 17. I say boy, but a young man, a young teenage man, was transforming into like what he looked like a dog, like a werewolf, right? And like bounded off. And then the people were commenting to him saying, "Oh yeah, that's a young dog man or whatever." And then, dude, I started looking into it, bro, all over the place, man. All up and down the East Coast, man, on the West Coast, up there. And these aren't skinwalkers either, not to be considered with those. These are like Dogman stories. So we're going to have to do a separate podcast on that as well, dude, to talk about that one. But yeah, Dogman. And then, so that got me curious, and I thought that was terrifying. These things are highly aggressive, right? Highly, highly aggressive. And there was a story about 3 dudes out of Texas who went fishing, and they were on I guess they were on like I forget what type of boat they were on, but it was just a little, nothing powerful, just a little fishing boat or whatever. Had to have a battery to jump it off or whatever. Went to their fishing spot out there. Bunch of dogmen showed up on them. It was about to kill them, right? They dove into the boat. They were firing it up, trying to get out of there, whatever. It affected one guy so much that talking about it today, he still cries. He still gets so upset about it, right? One guy won't speak about it at all. And the other guy turned into us, man. Like, I'm going to go out there. I'm going to get one. I'm going to go figure it out, man. Starts hunting them or whatever, right? These things are supposed to be highly aggressive, man. And, yeah, so the Dogman, so we got to do that. But then that took me somewhere else real quick. I posted something on our X account. For those who don't, for everybody watching this now, we're on X now. You can come and see us over there as well. We're going to put some good stuff up. We just got that started. He was talking about the disappearances that are going on in these national parks. Some of these are related to government failed experiments or not failed, I guess, failed experiments of human animal hybrid combinations. And he had a picture that looked like it came from a trail cam that's actually fairly decent, bro. It's on our X account. I reposted his Twitter. And it's got the head of a goat. It's about 8 feet tall, looks about 400 pounds, man, thick through the chest. Human, like fingers and everything, right?
All right, so
yeah, it's freaky.
We're gonna have to start planning some trips and take our viewers with us and actually do some of these hunting trips.
Oh yeah, believe.
And
right.
See if we can some kind of sign or something.
Oh yeah, no, we'll take some GoPros and stream that live if we can, in case we don't make it back, right?
That's right.
No, what we gotta do is we gotta take one of our family members that don't run too fast, right? So you and me are guaranteed to get out.
Taking the one that saw the UFO.
Exactly right. We'll take that one to get out, right? Yeah, so that's what I've dug into. And so back to the Bigfoot topic. I know because you've seen this. I don't know if our viewers have seen it or not, but you and I have seen a Instagram short going around where a Bigfoot was fighting a grizzly bear, right? Remember that?
Yes.
And
yeah. He was packing.
Yeah, exactly. And so what made this different than any other Bigfoot video we've ever seen before, cuz, was what?
He had his schlong hanging down and it was swinging between his legs.
The Bigfoot was a dangling while he was fighting a grizzly bear. That's the first That's the first time I've ever seen a Bigfoot's penis, everybody. So you can put that on a t-shirt right there. I'm gonna try to link that video. I'm going to find that video. I'm gonna link it in the description below. You guys can go watch it and take a look at it. I'm gonna try to get it into the actual video that we have right here. If I can download it somehow or get it up there, put a circle on it. But I gotta say, cuz if somebody's willing to go to that detail in their Bigfoot costume and take on a grizzly bear, I gotta say, man, bravo. I'm a believer.
Yeah. But I'll tell you what, if I'm not 100% right about this, when I saw the video, the grizzly bear, the back of the grizzly, because you're looking kind of at the back to the side of the grizzly bear, and then kind of like the face, front of the body of the Bigfoot. But a grizzly bear's part of the picture is really clear. But again, Bigfoot's not quite that clear. How does that happen?
Hey, I wonder if it was Bigfoot porn. Bigfoot porn. If they were, if they were filming a Bigfoot porn. That's it, man. Bigfoot are coming out here filming X-rated Bigfoot movies.
Oh, Lord.
Ay. So that's all we got. You got anything else, bro?
No, man, that's it. I think we've covered about as much as we can on that topic.
Yeah, no doubt, right? So we beat it to death. So look, in the spring, we are going to go camping in a few very remote places around the border of North Carolina, Tennessee. I'm going to ask our uncle to try to get us permission to go on a few people's properties up there, and that we can go and take a look around in some very, very remote places that I know where some caves are. We'll go in there and take a look at that. We'll live stream that or video it or whatever, whatnot. If you've stuck around this long, please think about giving this channel a subscribe. I did our audience. 96% of the people that watch our videos, according to our analytics, are not subscribed. These are the type of videos you guys can expect from us, right? And again, we invite all the heat and all the smoke in the comments. We got some good ones with our flat earther comments the other day. It's like, and the people might have thought that we were debunkers. We're not. You know what? They have the debunkers. They need to make a category called the We Want to Believers. You know what I mean?
Absolutely, man. And if there's anybody, and if you got any ideas on some videos y'all would like us to cover, man, just put it in the comments.
Hit it in the comments below. But here's a question before I go, and here's a question I'll ask our viewers on there. What would it take for you to, one, either 100% believe in a Bigfoot if you're a non-believer, but if you're a believer like us, cuz what would it take for you to say, you know what, okay, they're not real? What would it take?
It's probably going to take on our camping trip us actually physically seeing one.
Right, exactly right. Yeah. Physically seeing one to do it. And you know what? I don't know. I guess, man, I'm so far in the rabbit hole, man. I don't know if there could ever be anything that would say, yeah, I mean, like, make me not believe.
Right. I believed in my mind, man, growing up and everything.
Yeah.
But I want to know personally, and I don't want to go by somebody else's story. I want to physically know.
Yeah, believe too. Like I said, I'd want to see. I'd like to see one, man, from a at least
a distance
50 out, man. 50 out, right? I don't want to get rolled up on like in the camp and outside my tent, right? But 50 out, man. I would be good with that. And if it threw a rock, yeah, I bet I see you, we'd leave. All right. So any Bigfoots watching this, don't
go.
You 3-footers, stay away, right? You 3 toes, you're not allowed. Your 4 toes are allowed. All right, cuz that was it. All right, that's this episode for this week, you guys. Leave a comment below, subscribe. Let us know if you want us to make more videos. Hit on Rooster, walk them out.
All right, y'all. We enjoy every bit of what we're trying to do here, and we enjoy making you guys laugh because we don't know what else to do but wait till the next one.
We think we're hilarious.
We are 100%.
All right, man. I'll talk to you later.
Don't miss out on our fascinating content. Follow the Ancient Enigma files and become part of our community.